Hi, in this video we are going to discuss about array implementation of list using C++. We are going to use the object-oriented programming paradigm for implementing the list, right? So first of all, let us just have a glimpse of the operations which we are going to implement, and then we will start the implementation. The first operation that we are going to implement is create list. So the objective of create list is to create an empty list, right? With no elements in that, we have to create it. And next is destroy list. So this destroy list will be helping us to free some memory, because this is this function I have added particularly in specific to the programming language. So if we have done some dynamic memory allocation, it is very important that we have to give it back before we leave. So let us have a destroy list function, and then print list function is to check whether all the operations are going on fine or not. So we have provided a print list function also, and then isEmpty function to check whether a list is empty and return true if it is so, and false otherwise. Similarly, is full, it is going to check whether a list is full and return false otherwise. So let us just have a quick look at how we can implement. So when we look at this create list function, actually it will create a list, right? Probably it is like a space where you have to create it. So we need to have a space, and it is called the space allocated as elements, okay? And then destroy list obviously is going to give back the memory, so nothing more is required when you have to implement this. Let us look the print list function. So when you have to print the elements in the list, you have to know how many elements are there. So the number of elements in the list is very important. We should know when we are going to print the list. So we need to have number of elements, and then as empty. When you will tell the list is empty is when the number of elements is equal to 0, right? If the number of elements is equal to 0, then you can tell the list is empty, and it is not empty otherwise. Next function is full. When we will tell the list is full, if the memory allocated for storing the elements, memory given for the list is finished, then you will tell that the list is full. So any list will have a capacity, right? So in array implementation particularly, there is a limitation. So we have a capacity, and if the number of elements is equal to the capacity, then we can tell it is full, right? So when we are going to implement, actually in the ADT perspective, we will be just telling only the operations, how it should be done and so on. But when you come to implementation, we need to identify what are the things, what are the properties that should be maintained for the structure, so that we can implement the operations, right? So we have identified three properties. One is the elements, which is going to hold the elements, memory to hold the elements of the list, and then we have got number of elements, right? Keeping track of how many elements are there. And then we have got capacity, right? So all the three should be part of the list, and we have to put it together. And since we are going to do OOP, we need a class. We need a class to hold all these things, three things. Okay, so we are going to implement the list as using classes, and you know these are the header files. So let me write a class list, okay? And let me put a semicolon, otherwise I may forget. And first thing is elements, right? So let us just declare a pointer. We are going to dynamically allocate it. So just give a pointer. Why dynamic memory allocation is, we are going to read the required capacity from the user. We are going to ask the user how much of maximum capacity you need, and then we are going to allocate. So let it be a pointer, and then we have got the capacity. Capacity is an integer, and we have got number of elements, that is also going to be an integer, right? So these three are going to be the data members of the list, and the operations that can be performed on the list we are going to add as member functions, okay? And we know that in C++, particularly OOP, data hiding is a very important feature, and all these three are coming under or having private access. Since we have not mentioned any access specifier, by default they will be having private access. Next, the member functions we are going to put under public access, right? We are declaring as public. And create list. First thing is create list. Of course, we know that the create list will take the capacity as the argument, right? How much of memory you need, that will be taken as an argument, and then it will be implemented. But what we are going to do is, since it is OOP, object oriented programming, we are going to call through a object, right? An object, we will be calling this create list, and the functionality of this create list will be to initialize the data members. Okay, so we will not return anything since we are following OOP modeling, OOP programming paradigm. There will be mild variations in the operation implementation. So wherever we explicitly pass the list in the ADT, we will not pass it. Rather, in the main, we will be calling through the object of the list, right? So we will be writing these functions as member functions, so that they will be operating always on an object of the list. We will not explicitly pass it. Okay. So I have returned the create list function, which takes capacity as the thing. I am just only doing declarations, definitions I will do outside, right? And destroy list is also there. Destroy list is also not going to return, and it will not take any parameter. And next is print list. Print list also will not return anything, and no argument also. Is empty. Is empty is going to check whether the list is empty, is full, and bool is morphed data type, morphed form in C++, right? Of course, it is an integer. When you see the underlying thing, it is an integer, but we can use as a bool, right? So we are using that, and then we have made declaration of all the functions. Let us define it, right? So how will we define it outside? Return type followed by the name of the class, scope resolution, and then the function, right? So let us define it. Okay, here we will tell capacity is equal to C, right? And then we will be telling elements is equal to, right? We will be using the new operator, new int. I want the array of size capacity. So you tell new int within square brackets capacity. And one more thing that we have to do here is we have to initialize number of elements equal to 0, right? And let us write the next function, void list and destroy list. Okay. So in this destroy list, what we are going to do, we are just going to give back the memory. So we have to use this delete, and when we have got dynamically memory allocated for an array, we have to use these square brackets when we are going to use delete. So I am using delete square brackets followed by elements. Okay, and the next function is print. So void and then the name of the class, and then you tell print list. Okay, actually we have to print all the elements. So I have to go till the number of elements, right, less than number of elements, I plus plus, right? I can tell this, and yeah, I'll tell cout. Okay, cout and elements of I, and give a endl, so that it will go to the next line. Next is empty is full. I am writing is empty, right? And you tell the return type as bool, right? Check whether number of elements is equal to 0, right? If it is equal to 0, then you are going to return true, right? Yes, I can write return true, otherwise I can return false, right? Okay, fine. Next is I have to check whether the given list is full, right? I can do that. I'll write list is full. I'll try to use the ternary operator. I'll just demonstrate, right? What we can do is if capacity equal to right, number of elements, right? Let me put this within brackets. It's an expression. If this expression evaluates to true, or I can simply tell return this, right? Whatever value is given by this, I need not even use a ternary operator. This itself will do the thing, whatever we want to do. Actually, we want to return true if capacity is equal to number of elements. You can explicitly write like this: if capacity equal to number of elements, return true, otherwise return false. Okay. But when you look at this itself is a logical expression. This logical expression will give true if the comparison is equal, and on non-equality, unequality, it will return false, right? So I can obviously use this itself. You can try this also. Otherwise, write like this. Okay, if number of elements equal to capacity, return true, otherwise return false. You can also try that. And then we are going to create the main part of the code and create the object list L, and then cn. Let me declare n. Okay, cnn, and then I can call create list of n. Okay, after this I can print the list, yes, and after this I can check whether it is the list is empty, whether the list L is empty. For this we should get true. Let us put endl so that you will have clarity on printing, and then call the isFull function, isFull, and then enter. Okay, so this is done. Yes. So we can use the G++ command. This will invoke the C++ compiler and then compile it, no errors, right? So let us give 5. I see that it get printed 1 and 0 alone. Why it is not printing the elements? Look at the print list function. For that, what we have done is we are asking it to print the number of elements. This is correct, but the point is we haven't inserted any element into the list. Now we have just created the list and the list is empty only, right? So it's not correct, or we will not get output. Nothing wrong. We will not get output if we use number of elements. So for time being, let us use capacity to print so that we see something. Okay, we see that our print is working properly, right? So I am giving 5. It is printing 5 elements. Since we have not initialized, garbage value has to be printed. Fortunately, my memory spaces has got 0, so I am able to see 0, all 5 zeros, and then this 1 is because the list is empty. So I am seeing a 1 and I am seeing a 0 for full, right? Okay, this is how we can implement as a class. And one thing what we can do modification here is we have provided a create list function, isn't it? So instead of this create list function, actually the purpose of the create list function is to initialize the data members. Why don't we just provide a constructor, right? So we can do that. And whenever you are providing a parameterized constructor, also provide a default constructor. This is by rule. It is always safer because we do not know how objects will be created. One thing is we create objects. Other thing is our code is not going to be compiled by the compiler as such. Sometimes compiler inserts some code, right? In those situations, it may require a default constructor. So if you are providing a constructor, if you are not providing, no problem at all, you just leave it. You can write only the member functions whichever you want. But if you are providing a parameterized constructor, then by rule you have to provide a default constructor also, right? for safety. Sometimes it may lead to errors. So let us provide both the constructors, default constructor as well as parameterized constructor. Actually this create list is going to become the parameterized constructor, okay. And what about the, so I will not have a return type. Just recall constructors will not have return type, so I have to remove this. Yeah, I have to remove this. A minute. Yes, and then in the default constructor, let me write the default constructor. Here I will tell my own capacity. Let me tell capacity equal to 10. Instead of giving it a user choice, I am giving my own choice, and I will tell elements is equal to new int of capacity. I can tell like this, and then number of elements is equal to 0, okay. So both the constructors are returned. And one more thing what we can do is we can write a destructor instead of the destroy list. So let us write a destructor. Yeah, this is done, okay. And we do not have a return type for destructors, and is 1 minute, yeah, we will have it as tilde list, okay. So we can have like this. And what changes we have to make in the main part of the code? In the main part, let us read the value of n before creating the object, okay. And we will use the parameterized constructor. We can do that, and we can remove this and remove this create list also, right. So now what we are doing is we are just using the parameterized constructor and creating the object. By that way all the data members will be initialized, and then you are printing the elements, and then you are checking whether the list is empty as well as the list is full. Let us check the code. Okay, so let us compile, no errors, execute. Let me give 5. Yeah, you see 5 elements as 0 is getting printed, and then is empty. There is no execution change. You cannot find a change in the output or anything. It is same, but only thing what we have made is we have provided the constructors, right. And also we can give some qualifiers. That is always good. All these functions should be const member functions, because none of these functions should make changes in the data members, right. It can only read, it cannot make changes on the data members. So let us make everything as const. That is also a nice way of doing. So whenever you give const in the declaration, in the definition also you have to include the const keywords, otherwise we will get error. So let us add the const keywords to the member functions also, okay. Yeah. This is done. You can have a look at the code. I will share in the GitHub all these codes, and I will be sharing the link of my GitHub account in the description box, so you can check there. Thank you.